Hey YouTube, what's up? Today I'm gonna talk about something I don't usually talk about. My disease. I have what they call... Hold on, I'm just trying to mess with this mic thingy. But it was poking me. But I have what they call arthrogryposis. It is a disease that affects the bone and the muscles. It's a form of muscular dystrophy, a very distant form. But it affects various parts of me. I was born this way. The doctors have told my mother that it wasn't hereditary. My mom had it. And well, come to find out, a distant cousin of hers in the past has had it. And we believe my brother has it because, well, his muscles got affected and he now can't walk. But he did walk most of his life. How did my mom die? She died of pneumonia. She knew that if she went back into the hospital after all she's been through in her life, that she would never regain her strength. You know, because of her age. She was 68, I think. 67 or 68 when she died. That was in 2011. Now, she had spoken to me before, probably a good month before, about, you know, all of this and what her wishes were. And she set up all of her funeral stuff, you know. It just wasn't all paid for. I ended up paying that. That took a long time to pay off. I also paid off mine. So my funeral arrangements are set. But we got her buried right where she wanted to be. So that was like, you know, $6,000. But they let me make really good payments. It took forever, but I got it. As for me, I was born with my knees to my chest. I never could stretch out. Now, for the first 15 years of my life, I was on leg braces, which were designed to stretch my legs and hold them straight. The idea was we could get the legs straight, and as I grew, keep them straight. And then once I was done growing, they would stay straight. Then I could actually lay flat, or at least stand up maybe. But that wasn't meant to be because Medicaid would not pay for 2 sets of leg braces. Now, one time I could walk on those braces because my legs were straight enough to where I could actually walk and without crutches. But you know, kids grow, braces break, and it would take them 6 months to make another set, in which case my legs would retract right back to square one. So every time the braces broke, I'd have to start all over from scratch. And let me tell you, that is more pain than any child should ever have to endure. And I vowed a long, long time ago, there will never be children from me. Because if this is hereditary, I cannot put a kid through that. Because that still haunts me today. Why is my voice like it is? Well, when I was born, I had issues breathing. My windpipe never grew properly. When I was about 6 or 7-ish, it grew completely shut. I couldn't breathe in or out. I remember that very, very vividly. And when I woke up, I was in the hospital and I couldn't talk. See, before that I had a voice. I could actually talk properly. But then after that I couldn't talk anything. Nothing would come out, not even a whisper. So I had to talk with a pen and paper for the longest time. How well can a 6-year-old write, you know? Well, I learned how to write. But that was a year of complete hell. Complete hell. I'm not going to go into the details because, you know, it still haunts me today. I can still remember the sound of the cage that they kept. When you're a kid back then, they put you in a cage so that you can't, you know, get out and hurt yourself. Though I did escape from it once. What else? Yeah, that about explains it, I think. But yeah, my disease affects a lot of things on me, and the older I get, the worse it gets. And they say, you know, people with this disease don't live, you know, to see 90. That's very rare. And it affects people differently. You know, some people with this disease aren't just bad off. Some people with this disease are worse off. So it's, you know, there's not a whole lot of people with it. So they don't know a whole lot about it. You know. But yeah, it affects a lot of things on me. And as I get older, it seems to be getting worse. It sucks, but that's life. When I was 15 is when the braces stopped, because they finally broke again. And then my mom was just like, do you really want to? And I told her no, because it ain't doing any good. Every time they break, we have to start all over again. And it's just, if Medicaid would have just had a heart and paid for 2 sets, I would have had a backup set. And I might actually be able to walk, or at least stand up, or at least lay on my stomach. I haven't done that. I can't remember the last time I laid on my stomach. The only way I can do it is if I stuff pillows up under me or lay across the stool or something. That's not comfortable. And laying on my back is just as bad because I'm all curled up, so I'm a side sleeper. That's not always good either, because my hips get to hurting. That's why I got a waterbed, because it, you know, lessens that pain a lot. plus the heat. It's like a big heating pad. And it really does help the arthritis. If I'm sitting there in pain all day, I'll go get in my bed, get under the blankets, and after a while the pain just kind of goes away. And it's nice until I get back up. Now, not every day is like that. There's days I can move pretty good. Like in the summertime, I have pretty good days. But rain, snow, cold, things like that, they just do bad things to me. And I have arthritis all over my body. Every single joint in my body has it. Yeah, this is not a subject I talk about very often, but for education, if people ask, I don't mind telling them, because, knowledge is power. If people understand somebody's handicap, they're less likely to tease or to assume or, all that other stuff that comes with it. I just wish one time that everybody at least once in their life could spend one day in a wheelchair. That way they can understand what we have to put up with and how we have to live our life. And there's people way worse off than me. There's people who can't move at all. Imagine what their life is like. They can't even pee without somebody helping them. At least I can still get there. And I do whenever possible. But it don't always tell me, and sometimes it just happens. So there's that aspect. It sucks, but what can you do? There's nothing doctors can do about it. And I refuse to live on drugs. Really, honestly, I hate taking medicine. I hate anything like that. It's just, I'm allergic to a lot of different medicines. We found out over the years. I can't even take a sleeping aid because my brain goes to sleep, but my body don't. That's crazy. I took a sleep aid once. My mom gave me one because I was up for 3 days. And she said she'll never do that again. She had a hard time keeping me in the house. Because like I said, my brain was asleep, but my body was like in turbo. It was crazy. That was years ago, and I don't take them. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do drugs. I did. I used to. Until I got so skinny, I met cocaine. And that was like the worst mistake of my life. And I got off of that narcotic a long time ago. What I did was I moved out to my grandma's, and that was out in the middle of the boondocks with no vehicle. So I had no access to drugs and a whole lot of grass to cut. She had a riding lawnmower that I liked to ride on, and I rigged it up to where I could drive it. It worked. But I'll never go back to that. Never, ever. There's a lot of things I've done in my past that I will never, ever do again. Ever. because we learn from our mistakes. At least we hope to. And I've learned from many, many of my mistakes. I am not, by any means, an innocent saint. I have made some doozies in my day. But never again. I learned. And I'm still learning. But that's life. So I think I'm gonna leave it on that note. Can't think of anything else. The one thing I do hope, see, my brother has a daughter, and she just recently got married and is now pregnant. So my brother's gonna be a grandfather. I think it's funny. But I'm just hoping this disease does not carry on, So far, so good. His daughter don't have it. That we know of. She's healthy, she walks very good with, she carries a job. She's smart. She's doing good for herself. As far as I know. She don't talk to me much. In fact, the only time she ever messages me is if she wants my brother. Whatever. It is what it is. But that's our hope. Our hope is that, the buck stops here. I just wish, disability and such would understand that the amount they give us is barely enough to live. I got enough to get by, only because I'm living off of what my dad set up. Now, he passed away when I was 15, but he set it up so that at least I would be taken care of, for the rest of my life. I thank him for that. But it's just not enough. It's enough to live, but to do anything extra, I gotta save up. Like I said, if it weren't for this stimulus packages, there's a lot of things I wouldn't have right now because I'd still be saving for it. So at least, the government did something right. But I've heard people complain that they're working and they're only getting, like 800 or 900 a week. Or 1,000 a week. I'd be ecstatic to get that much. When I was working at the ISD, I was making 600 a week. And I was over the moon about that, because that's way more than my monthly. And I was actually able to do things, go places, see things, because I had the money. It was great, but they laid us off. Me and two others. And the other two were there since the dawn of time, But the boss's daughter needed a job, so they closed our department to open one for her. And all she did was sit at the desk and beat her mug with that makeup thing. That's all she did. But I had fun working there. That was a good job. I was AV tech, by the way. Audio video technician. Subcontracted. Yeah, all my life I've been into electronics. I used to build circuits, fix radios, the first stereo I ever had. I pulled it out the junk, and I pulled another one similar to it, and I took parts one from the other and made it work, and it worked very well. I had the police at my house many times when Mom wasn't home, telling me to turn it down. Anyway, I think I'm gonna leave it at that, and wish you all a good day. And just know I was not offended by the question. I'm sorry if it sounded that way. This is more for done for Dale. I do apologize if I sounded like I was offended, but I wasn't. You know, it's hard to offend me. Really is. Easy to upset me. Hard to offend me. What else? I think I'm gonna leave it at that. I'll leave it on that note. Y'all take it easy. Thank you for watching. And I hope that answers some questions. I'll see you in the next one.